It's been a few days since the arrest of Joseph James DeAngelo, and I thought I would make another video about updating y'all about what we know about him currently. Well, for starters, he was born in New York, in Bath, New York, or something, upstate New York. Anyway, he served in the U.S. Navy as a damage controlman in the Vietnam War, and then he got out and eventually became a police officer and was fired after he got caught shoplifting. And anyway, he started his killing spree while he was still on the police department. All the rapes, he's responsible for, I think it is about, a bunch of crimes. I mean, murders, 50 rapes and hundreds of burglaries. And he always wore a mask and always wore gloves when he did these things. What else? We still don't know why he started this killing spree or why he stopped. But neighbors describe him as helpful. And he worked as a machinist for this supermarket chain in California, and retired last year. According to one of his coworkers, he never called in sick. He was always on the job and seemed really afraid of getting in trouble for some reason. But anyway, neighbors describe him as helpful and things like that. And there was this one incident at the strip club where he went on this racist rant. And, but most of the girls there say he didn't tip well, but he was, for the most part, very respectful. I mean, he didn't grope or anything like that. And, he wasn't perverted, didn't seem perverted to them or anything. We still don't know why he started this killing spree, or more interestingly, why he suddenly stopped, because serial killers generally don't just stop. That's pretty rare that they do. They usually don't stop until they're caught. There have been exceptions to that. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it typically doesn't. Anyway, these break-ins, it's like, he was very, very efficient. He was very good at what he did. He got away. I think his law enforcement background helped him navigate the getting away with crime. He was also, he married and had a wife. He also when he was living with his daughter and his granddaughter when he was arrested, he lived in a ranch-style house. And I think serial killers sometimes imagine that their spree is a game between them and law enforcement or them and society. Here are all these educated people, these psychologists, police officers, detectives, working so frantically to catch him, and he can just triumph over all of them. And to him, that was probably validation of his extraordinary abilities. And I really think that what's interesting is that his neighbors seem to have gotten over the shock pretty early on. They're like, "Oh, I hope he rots in jail." Doesn't seem to be many of this. No, they can't. It has to be the wrong guy and all that crap. What we have here is not a failure to communicate, but it was the success of DNA evidence that really cracked the code after 40 years or so. Because, man, what they can do with DNA these days is just amazing. I mean, you'd really have to be insane to get involved in criminal activity these days in America today. But anyway, I do wonder what it's like to all of a sudden. I do wonder what he's thinking now. It's like, that happened so long. He might be thinking, that happened so long ago. And why am I being arrested and charged for it? Believe it or not, a lot of sometimes these killers, after they get caught decades later, they're like that. They're like, what? That happened so long ago. You know? But there's no statute of limitations on murder. Sorry, Mr. DeAngelo. There isn't. And, anyway, he was dragged into court pushed into court on a wheelchair. Now, he probably won't live too long after being arrested because of his advanced age and the stress he's going to be under and things like that. But hey, justice will be served. And, it really makes you think. It's like your next door neighbor could be the Zodiac killer. Your next door neighbor, your next door neighbor who's friends with everybody and smiles all the time could be the Zodiac killer. Just remember that. And that's a lesson for us all. Anyway, I hope you liked my video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.